Whether you're 53 or 63, divorce doesn't just divide a marriage, it divides your retirement savings that you've been building for over 30 years. A woman's standard of living can fall dramatically after a gray divorce, but there are 3 financial rules that might soften the blow. So stick with me because I'm going to get to them. Hi, I'm Ann Johnson. Let's chat about this. Whether you're in a gray divorce or thinking about it, there's one thing you should know, and that is you're not the only one in the room going through this. This is one of the fastest growing categories of divorce in the country. So it's very, very important for you to know what you can do financially to avoid some hardships. Nearly 40% of divorces in the United States are happening to people 50 or older. That's up from 8% in the 1990s. That's not a niche experience. That's almost half the divorces in the United States. And according to a study by Bowling Green University, couples over 65 have tripled in divorce since 1990. In fact, 1 in 10 people divorcing today are over 65. So if it feels like this is happening to a lot of people in your life, be it sisters, cousins, friends, women you know in the book club, it's not a trend. It's a real demographic shift, and you're living right in the middle of it. That said, common doesn't mean easy, and I'm not going to pretend they're the same thing. I mean, if you get a divorce when you're 35, you have time to rebuild. You have another 30 years to sock away money in a retirement fund. That's not true if you're in your 50s or 60s. This is especially not true if you're 65 or older. You're probably already retired at that point. The retirement pool being split isn't future earning potential. It's finite, and it has to last for the rest of your life. There's no I'll make it back plan when you're already in retirement or pretty close. Let's not soften this. The numbers are real with the difference between men and women. For women, after a gray divorce, their standard of living dropped 45%. For men, it dropped 21%. That's not a small gap. Women are hit twice as hard financially after a gray divorce. Here's another piece of the financial picture. It found that women did better once they repartnered, got married again after a divorce. But you know what? That's not a plan. You can't count on that. So if repartnering isn't a plan, what do? Well, you need to rely on and know about your Social Security, QDRO, and health insurance. You have options. This is where the fear usually outweighs the facts. That's because women haven't been taught the mechanics of all of this, and we're going to talk about that right now. Let's start with retirement accounts. They get divided with a QDRO, also known as a Qualified Domestic Relations Order. This is a specific legal document that splits 401k, pension fund, whatever, without tax implications if you do it correctly. And by correctly, I mean you have to roll it right over into another retirement account. Talk to your attorney about a QDRO. It's important. It has to go through the courts. You can't just show up at the plan administrator and say, "Hey, I'm divorcing my husband," or "Please give me half his retirement." It doesn't work that way. A plan administrator won't even talk to you unless you have a QDRO. So make sure, that's extremely important because timing is everything, that you talk to your attorney and go through the courts to get that. Next is Social Security. It has a rule that most people don't know about until they really need it. If your marriage has lasted 10 years or more, you can claim half your spouse's earning records. This doesn't reduce what your spouse receives as their retirement, and they don't even have to know you're doing it. Just meet with a Social Security Administrator representative and apply. You're eligible from 62 to 70, and depending on how old you are when you apply, depends on how much your benefit's going to be. If you're on your spouse's health insurance, you also have options. There's COBRA, there's ACA, which is the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. And of course, if you're old enough, there's Medicare. that kicks in when you're 65. The ACA Marketplace, Affordable Care Act, charges a premium based on your income. So that can make insurance extremely affordable to you if you're a little bit tight. None of this totally erases the financial distress you may be under, but at least knowing the rules helps diminish it a little bit. Knowing these rules helps make some of it fixable. And gray divorce goes beyond the financial. I mean, who I am financially is a question you have, but who am I now, period, is another question, especially if you have had a long marriage and you've been intermingled with your spouse for many years. Who am I? That may be a question you're asking right now. So you have two upheavals stacking on top of each other right now. One is financial and one is emotional. Now, the surprising half. MIDUS study found that women who were in marriages that just weren't that great have the greatest sense of satisfaction when they're over with. It's not just that divorce makes women feel happier. There's a deep sense of satisfaction if things weren't going well for a long time. Gray divorce isn't generally a relief for everybody. It's not a disaster for everybody. Sometimes it's mixed based on the specifics of your situation. So here's where this all lands, and I want to be very clear about it and not just wrap it up in a pretty bow. Gray divorce carries real financial risks and hits women harder than it hits men, but it also can carry with it great gains in clarity and autonomy. Sometimes both of these things happen. So if you're considering gray divorce, think long and hard about it. Run the numbers. Can you afford it? Will it make you happier? And see if it all balances out. The refrain isn't, it always works out. It's that some of these that feel like an unsolvable tragedy have solvable answers. And that is Social Security, QDRO, health insurance. These all can work together and help you get through this. These are just mechanical questions that have answers. And the parts that are kind of unknowable right now, for instance, now that I'm on the other side of it or going through it, how do I feel about it? Those do work out in the end as you learn about yourself more. If you're going through this and you're concerned about your retirement, watch my video. The retirement number that was in my head was wrong, and that'll help you figure out exactly what you need for retirement. I'll link it in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for the chat.